Well, the Colorado Avalanche are finally starting to build some momentum as they pick up a 3-2 win over the Nashville Predators for their second win in a row. There's a lot to get into about this game, a lot to talk about, but we're just going to get right into it. It was a pretty lackluster start for the Avs, kind of similar to the Carolina game. Not as much of an excuse this time because they've been at home, so you'd like to see them start a little bit better, get these games going on the right foot a little bit more consistently, but they got scored on pretty quickly here. Just throw a puck on net, and Luke Evangelista just cleans it up. A lot of problems on that shift, and it was a consistent issue for the Avs tonight. They were losing a lot of puck battles along the outside. They were turning over pucks, and they weren't winning the back. They were not maintaining possession very well consistently. They were getting chances, but they just had a hard time keeping that going throughout the whole, game from shift to shift. They had good shifts, but they very rarely string them together, And so on this was a shift where it bit them. The shot got on net. It was screened. Not a great rebound from Georgiev, but like I said, it was screened. And then he gets no help from his defenders, who just refuse to clear out the front of the net. Girard and Manson need to be a little bit tougher on their sticks. There was a bit of a miscommunication. They were both covering the guy on the right side of the net, and Evangelista was open. Not entirely sure what happened there, but that needs to be a little bit better. For the remainder of the first period, it was controlled by Nashville for a little bit, and then the Avs kind of started to fight back. Like I said, they were getting good shots and stuff. They were getting chances on the fly, but they weren't really controlling play in the Predator zone a whole lot. They had a power play for a non-existent penalty, to be completely honest, and they just didn't even do anything with it. They would go into the second period down 1-0. They'd get a power play early in that one. This was a legitimate penalty. It was a solid power play that had a lot of chances, but then a deflected shot from Devon Toews would go in off of the stick of Colton Sissons. Never thought Colton Sissons would help the Avs. Trust me, it wouldn't last very long. They picked that one up shortly after the good power play. Nice to see that second unit kind of, get something going. It was a little bit lucky, but it was good to see Toews pick up his first of the season. He's been getting close, but he just hasn't been hitting the net a whole lot. He got a little lucky on this one, but I'm sure that'll be a nice confidence boost for him. The Avs played pretty well in this period, I thought. They were controlling play a little bit more consistently, getting things going the right way. Had a lot of really good shifts in the Predator zone, but they weren't able to capitalize until later. Off the rush, Nathan MacKinnon found Joel Kiviranta, who replaced Arturi Lehkonen, who found Mikko Rantanen, who just kind of powered one through UC Saros. Not much to say about that one. It was a nice little play on the rush. Usually how you draw it up with that three-man. And, Mikko didn't make the greatest shot, but he made a shot that went in, and you can't really be mad about that. He's finding ways to start scoring goals again, just the way Mikko Rantanen does. It's just the way he goes. Towards the end of that period, it felt like the Avs were sitting back a little bit, doing a lot of the things, like I talked about before, that were giving them some struggles, not controlling the puck very well, not doing going to work along the boards. It was a bit of a struggle for them. It was really frustrating. The Predators had quite a few chances towards the end, and Georgiev stood tall. But so the Avs were able to keep their lead into the third period. But that didn't last very long because, like I said, Colton Sissons will only ever play good against the Colorado Avalanche. There's a point where I feel like the Avs should just trade for Colton Sissons because it's going to be hard for him to score against the team if he's on the team. This was just a bad breakdown. The puck comes up top. I think it was to Yossi. Middlestad's trying to pick his pocket and go on a rush, but he just misses and gets out-muscled and just allows his defender to walk in, make a nice play, and across crease to Sissons, who just taps the puck in. It's just bad defense from the Avs. Really was not great from Casey Middlestad. Did not love that from him. And for a while there, it seemed like the Avs were a little bit stuck in the mud. They were turning over pucks, doing a lot of that stuff again. Then they started to pick it up a little bit more. They were getting things going, playing some offense. They had a lot of good chances. Saros started to stand a little bit taller after a few soft goals that he let in earlier. Then came just an awful penalty call. I don't know what happened. This is like another instance of the NHL officials just having no idea what they're doing. I forgot to touch on this in the Winnipeg game, but we had that one in the Seattle game with the whole offsides fiasco where the refs apparently don't know the rules. Then we had the Winnipeg Jets game where they gave the Avs 1 minute and 10 seconds of power play time in the entire game, which was ridiculous. Carolina, whatever, that one was fine. There was weird calls, but it was still pretty consistent. Then they called 2 non-existent tripping calls in this game. I forgot to mention it, but literally right after the Rantanen goal, they called just a trip on Kiviranta that just didn't happen. After they called it on Stamkos, and fair is fair, but at the same time, that's not acceptable. Do your job. Your call penalties that exist, please. And then Mikko Rantanen hits a falling AJ McCarron on the shoulder. The Avs go up on a rush, and then the refs blow the whistle because McCarron is hurt. On the replay, it's very confusing to see how he even got hurt, considering he got hit in the shoulder, and there was nothing really that aggressively put him into the boards. And they blew the whistle while the Avs had the puck. They call a major on it, and then they review it down to a minor, even though they didn't call a penalty on the initial play. They said they did. They absolutely did not, because the Avs had possession of the puck for like 10 seconds as they went up the ice. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but the NHL needs to get their officials in order, because they've been really bad lately. And it's not even like, oh, well, they're being biased. They just don't know what they're doing. They look lost out there. They're doing things. It's so hard for anyone to be able to get into and follow. It's bad for the game. They need to figure it out. Fortunately, the Avs had a really good power play on that, a penalty kill on that. The crowd really got into it. They were going hard on those ref you suck chants. Fine end of the period. I don't know. There was a really nice save from Alexandar Georgiev there. They got a little. The Avs had a few too many breakdowns. The Predators were gaining the middle of the ice way too easily for my liking in this game because of how much the Avs were getting outworked along the board. Georgiev makes a good save, gets enough of it, and Calvin DeHaan pokes it out of the net just to make sure that the Avs can get to overtime. And then in overtime, little Sam Girard makes an incredible play on Brady Shea, pins him in the corner of the blue line, and rather than going back, like we've discovered that is the correct play to make in 3-on-3 overtime, he corners in there, pokes the puck around him, fights through a nice slash from Shea, which is pretty impressive considering the size difference between the two, gets a breakaway and just beats UC Saros for his second overtime winner in his career, both of which came against the Nashville Predators, which I will find hilarious forever. The Avs win, and they probably didn't deserve to. Two of their goals were kind of crap, and they got, I wouldn't say significantly outplayed, but they got outplayed. I felt like consistently they were finding themselves in their own zone, losing puck battles, just not doing the things that have made them successful in these past few games. Now, what I will say is I don't think they got significantly outplayed, and to be completely honest, Alexandar Georgiev probably won this game for them in the first period. The Predators had 10 high-danger chances to the Avs 1, and they only scored 1 goal. That's why you have a goaltender. And to be completely honest, props to Alexandar Georgiev, because these last 3 games have been really good from him. I understand he gave up 4 goals in the last game, but they were all pretty difficult saves, and he still made some nice saves in that one. So I'm not going to harp on that one too much, especially considering the 2 games around it have been very good from him. Above 900, made big saves to keep the Avs in the game, and this time he finally got a win for it. As opposed to the Winnipeg game, he made some really nice saves. He's looked pretty controlled. Like, there's some rebounds, like the first one, that aren't great. He can be a little bit sporadic. He does kind of get beat by Yossi on that one chance, but he gets enough of it, For a guy who's been getting so unlucky for, months at this point, can't complain about getting luck sometimes, I think he was a big key for the Avs' success in this one. I thought, there were things to like. I thought the Avs had some good process moments at times. That second line is still just so in flux. Logan O'Connor, I didn't hate him, but I was getting frustrated with him just because he was getting close, and I think that's what gets more frustrating is when he's getting close and he's just not finishing, I thought, everybody had their moments in this game, their good moments, and everybody had their bad moments. But the Avs found a way to fight through it, and to be completely honest, that they deserved it. They've lost so many games that they deserve to win. It was about damn time that they won a game that they might not have deserved to. And I don't think it was like they stole the game from the Predators. I mean, to be completely honest, it's completely fair because they probably deserved to beat Nashville last time. This was a game where they might have deserved to lose, and they won. And you know what? That's what good hockey teams do. They find ways to win. They just played well. They played with a lot of, I would say, heart. I don't want to say grit and intensity because, like I said, I really thought I don't want to say their work ethic was bad, but along the boards and everything, they were constantly getting outworked and outmuscled. And I do think part of that is because of the Predators' size. That's what the Predators like to do. They're a big team. They're a strong team. They love to play on the outside. That's where they're going to be successful. And that's not really the Avs game, especially with so many of their more grittier guys out. You know, you have Miles Wood out, you have Ross Colton out, you have Valentin Nichushkin out. You know, even Jonathan Drouin is pretty good along the walls. It's just hard to compensate for that against a team that thrives so much there. But I do think one thing the Avs need to work on is their puck control. Their defensive zone, they need to be a little bit better at covering up the middle of the ice. We saw this last game, we saw this game. Too many chances from there. The Avs need to get there a little bit more themselves, to be completely honest, because both of their goals were from the outside. They could have probably won this game because, regulation, if they got to the middle a little bit more because of some, squeaky stuff from Saros in terms of puck control and everything. We'll get into some headliners really quick for you. I'm just going to start with Alexandar Georgiev. I already talked about him. He's playing good. He's just got to keep it up. I don't know if they should start him against LA on Wednesday. That's an interesting one. Personally, I would give Annan a chance because I think one thing we need to learn from Alexandar Georgiev's season last year, and I understand he didn't play well, and I understand he's playing better now. Don't overplay him. He will get mentally exhausted. Now, he's playing well, so it might be a little bit different when he is playing well. You want to ride that hot hand a little bit more. He will build the confidence. But once you see him not doing well, I think they actually did a really good job with this. He wasn't playing well to start the season, so they gave him time off. They didn't push it, and that's what you got to keep doing because he's playing really well. We're getting a few more glimpses of what we saw his first year here, and I think that's really encouraging. If he keeps this up, maybe they don't trade for a goaltender. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't be too opposed to maybe running an Alexandar Georgiev, Mackenzie Blackwood tandem. I don't think that's that bad. Moving on from that, I thought the Avs first line was very good tonight. I thought they had some weak moments, but I thought for the most part they pushed play in the right direction. I'm counting all 5 of them. I'm just going to lump them all together as one lump. I don't really think any individual guy had like a huge game, but I think as a group they played well and they controlled possession for the Avs, kept it going in the right way. Another guy I really liked tonight was Sam Girard. Scored the overtime winner. I thought he was pretty good tonight. He was controlling the puck really well. He was just doing his thing. He was doing his little Sam Girard thing. And that's why I'm wearing this Breathe Right strip right now, is because he did his little Sam Girard thing and he scored a goal and he jumped into the arms of everybody. I love it when Sam Girard scores goals. He just jumps into people's arms like a little toddler. It's so funny, and I love Sam Girard for it. Like I said, it was a bit of a rough game for the Avs. I didn't love Ivan. This is probably one of the worst games I've seen him play. Him and Casey Middlestat, real rough with the puck tonight. A lot of just bad decisions, bad turnovers. Just not quite what I would expect from those two, to be completely honest. A little bit disappointing. Did not love the fourth line. I don't think they were necessarily bad, but they were getting caught out there a lot against Nashville's pretty good players. Also, Calvin DeHaan had a weird night tonight. He was struggling with the puck a little bit, especially in his own zone. So I wasn't super upset about it. I do think Logan O'Connor and Joel Kiviranta and Parker Kelly were a pretty good duo. We're a trio. I forgot to mention that. When the Avs needed them, they went to work along the boards, and that's what that line needs to do because they're the best. I don't know how to explain it, but they're good at mucking it up. They're good at winning the battles. They're good at that kind of stuff. They provided a jump that the Avs desperately needed tonight, and I think they did a great job of it. They didn't score. I'll keep harping on it. Parker Kelly is not as bad as some people are going to say. Logan O'Connor even had some chances tonight, even though he frustrated me. Joel Kiviranta had a really nice play. I thought he was pretty good tonight. He got burned by Steven Stamkos in overtime, which, look, I know he played well. He should not be out there in overtime. Jared Bednar, don't put Joel Kiviranta out in overtime. Look, he did it once against you. That doesn't mean he's ever going to do it again. Please. Getting burned by Steven Stamkos in overtime in the year 2024 is just unacceptable. I don't care. When you have a step on the guy, that just can't happen. I think this is good for the Avs to keep building up wins. We know they're going to have Nichushkin back on Friday. It would be interesting to see if they might push Duran and Wood back as well then. Maybe we'll get one of them on Wednesday. Not entirely sure. But the Avs are moving in the right direction. They're getting healthy. They're playing good hockey. They're getting good goaltending. It's really hard to complain. Just got to shore up a little bit of that defense a little bit. That's my only issue. The defense needs to be better. And I'm sure having a guy like Valentin Nichushkin back will help that a lot. That's all I have for you guys today. That was a fun little win. It's always nice to see the Avs get it done in overtime. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.